Hi everyone, it's Linda with StampWithLindaWalsh.com. Here is another project this is going to be one of our club projects, but I'm also going to have it as our technique project for the month, for our challenge. And the challenge is just going to be use flowers. It's going to be a very simple challenge. This this technique, you can puff up your flowers, make them with punches, you can even just stamp them. I just thought it would just get you thinking about what kind of flowers that you'd like to make. This one here, I just used the Mixed Bunches set, and let me show you that one. I just used this here, and I used the Calypso Coral. I actually got this card idea from our Stampin' Success magazine that they give the demonstrators. They actually use different colors. I had to kind of switch up the colors. I actually reversed them. They used a new blue that is coming out, which I don't have yet. So I just used and that was on the outside layer. So I just used my Calypso Coral on the outside layer and then changed up the blue and I used Pool Party. So the different stamps that I used is the Mixed Bunch, like I said. To get this indent on your flower, this is the new Around Array, which will be coming out in the new catalog. You can get it now too, but I used this for both pieces here. So what I did was I stamped it first in the Pool Party, and then I cut it out with the corresponding punch, which is the 7/8 scallop. There we go. And then I just cut out the center piece. I'll show you that later with the itty bitty circle. So let's get started. And then this is also using the itty bitty banner set. I used the framelits, which I will show you in a minute. Here it is. I just use this big one, which is this framelit here, to get these pieces here. Okay, so I just cut out 2 of those. And then for the For You part on the stamp set, here is my For You. I stamped it in Calypso Coral and then I cut it out. With that, and those 3 go to this itty bitty. It corresponds or coordinates with this. So there's 3 of them and they go with this set. It's a really cool little set to use. So let's get started with some dimensions. I also liked how they did the longer card. Now you'll have to use a longer envelope, a regular size envelope for these. They won't fit inside your, your regular card size, 5.5 wide card size. So the dimensions on this are actually 6.5 by 6.25, and then you're going to score at 3.25. So 6.5 here, which the middle will be 3.25, and you're going to fold it. And then we'll use our white, which is 3 by 6. I'm not going to glue that down yet though, because I want to use our Calypso Coral. We're going to now make these 3 strands. And all I did to do this, very simple, I'm going to take away my base. Just measured out 3 pieces. Okay, I'm going to cut 3. Doesn't have to be precise because I'm just going to tape it to the back of my card. Okay. And then while I have it out, I'm just going to make my bow real quick. I should have made it while I was off the camera. But, didn't think of it. So let me kind of play with this a little bit. So I guess you can see how I make some of my bows. I do that, little rabbit ears is what they call it. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it as is, cut this off, like so. Oops. And I'll straighten those out later. I just want to get started with this. I'm just going to find the center, and I'm just finding the center by eyeballing it. I'm not a big measurer, and I'm just going to tape it onto the back. And I like the tape because I can just reposition it. It doesn't seem to rip my paper or anything. So if I put it on crooked, I find out it's not straight or centered, which I think this is going to be not straight. Let's see. Yeah, I could probably move this over a tad. Okay, we'll do number 2. And who cares if there's a kink in your baker's twine, because it does straighten out once you tape it down. approximately putting this maybe like 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little less. I like it a little bit closer. Oh, that's about 1/4. I probably would do it closer if I can. I don't want to get too particular about it because it's not a big issue if you don't. It's just your preference, and if you get too frustrated, don't bother. That's how I look at it. If I get too frustrated, I don't bother. I leave it as is. And sometimes you can play with it and move it a little bit. Because then once you actually adhere with your tape runner, it will stick where you need it to, where you originally would like it to be, hopefully. Okay, oops. You can also use your tape runner to put this down. I just find this sticks better for me. I can easily move it. So there we go. Now what we can do is we can just put this right down on our card, so then we can, you know, move on to the next step and then not have to worry about so many pieces hanging around. I tend to go over the pieces that have the tape on it just to give it a little more reinforcement. See if I can straighten that out good. Okay. What I might do, I have a little bit too much up there. I might just cut that off at the end, but I don't need to worry about that now. All right. So let's get started with our flowers. So I punched out my flowers. Here's a bunch of them, you guys. This is for my club members, so I have to stamp all these and punch them out. I just need 2 for me. And then I'm just going to use a bunch of adhesive and put this one down. Actually, before I do that, I am going to use my 2 pieces. You're going to get 2 of these because we want to put on this first. And I'm just going to use a bunch of this adhesive, and I'm going to try and just bring this in, kind of do one of these, look at it, see where I want to go with it. Probably make this one a little shorter, make sure it fits onto my card, and then make this one a little bit longer. Let's see how that looks. Yep, I think that would be okay. I could probably make this a little bit shorter. And then that's what my back will look like. So well, you'll see that anyways, because I'm just going to put this right on down. And I did use regular adhesive. You could pop this up if you want, but I'm already going to pop up the center. So it's only so much popping you want to do if you're going to mail this. And put it hopefully in the center. Okay. That piece is done. So now what I want to do with my other flowers, I want to take my bone folder and to pull up the sides and make them 3-dimensional. You're taking your bone folder, and I'm kind of like turning the bone folder over the paper as I go. And it just curves up your edges a little bit. Do it as much as you like or as little as you like. You can even just pop this up without curving your edges. Personally, it's probably just going to get flattened out in the envelope anyways, but it looks pretty before you put it in there. All right, now this I will also do adhesive, but I'm just going to do it right in the center of my card. Do a little X. Just because if I turn it over, it's probably going to get squished. And there we go. Okay. So that part is done. So now we'll finish off the flower, and what I also did, let me take back the pieces that I made here. We're gonna now, I've already punched out this, like I said, I got that from the Around Array. And this, I did pop up with dimensionals. Let me cut some of these away. Okay, so that's going to go like that. And then then I stamped out in Calypso Coral, same exact one, but all I'm going to do is cut out this center piece with the itty bitty punch. And this I just adhered with a glue dot. Oops, what did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Okay. And that goes right in the center. You can put, I have to tell you, I tried putting the gems, I just thought it took away from the nice, clean, crisp look, so I just left it like that. Try it. Put a pearl in there, a gem, whatever you want. The dazzling details, whatever works for you. I personally didn't like it, so I didn't put it on. And then I already told you how I stamped out the For You. And that's going to go on, I did dimensionals again, but I cut them down like I did on the other one. Just use 2 of them. Like so. Okay. I'm just going to put that, I mean, pretty much in the middle. You decide. And then I'm going to take my bow in, and I'm also going to, what do you call it? I got some cruddy scissors here, guys. I'll cut this later. See how it, I don't like that. Well, let me just do this one. I'll cut it again when I go off the camera. It makes my edges not so smooth. And I just did another glue dot right in the center. Like so. Let's see how that looks. Whoops, stuck to my finger. Yeah. And then, there you go. Your card is done. I was going to say, and then by pressing the glue dot, it straightens out your bow. So if you get a little twisty with the baker's twine, it does straighten out. And I'll just clip those at the end. But your card is done. I appreciate you joining me. And like I said, for the technique, just use any flower. It'd be nice if you could explain your flower technique for others. You know, and if it's just the stamping, that's fine too. I think the technique more so on this is to curl up your edges. So maybe you could try that and curl up one of the edges of your flowers and make it a little 3D-ish. So thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you soon.